All right, well, I'm Monica Smith with Keller Williams. Thank you so much for coming to our seminar. I'm going to be here as your realtor. I have Chrissy Jones with Meridian Bank. I have Tim Prenger with, what is it? Goosehead. And we have a Sean with Pro-Spect, our inspector. So thanks again for coming. We're going to go through the process of the home buying process. And we're just going to go over it very, in a very, like, how can I say it? Like basic way. We're going to go over like in a very basic way. After this, we will be open to do consultations with you, like just personal consultations. So our goal is basically to ensure that your homeownership journey is as smooth as possible. That's why we're here, to explain it to you. You don't have to know everything, right? That's why you have us to explain it to you and to guide you through the process step by step. So we're going to talk about the home buying process, like I said. Chris is going to talk about how to get pre-approved, and he's going to talk about the grants. She's going to talk about the grants. And after that, we're going to go through inspections, which pretty much equals peace of mind and why it's important to have an inspection. And at the end, we're going to talk about insurance, how important that is. And please keep your questions till the end, if you don't mind. So I have a sheet right there for you guys, and it says, why do you want to buy a home, right? This is like a personal reason. Why do you want to buy a home, and how would this change your life? So I see some kids over there, and like, I know you guys have a home, right? So it's like, why are the reasons you want to buy a home, right? So one of them is just to build wealth, right? To pass it along your family, to create stability. We know that rent is going up every year, right? So creating stability means we don't have to pay that increase in rent every year, right? Also safety. We want to have a place that is safe for all of us, and just invest in the future, not only just for our families, but for the future generations. This is the basic step-by-step to purchase a home. And a lot of people go into like the house hunting first, right? Go to Zillow, go to realtor.com first, and say like, I'm just gonna look for houses. And in reality, the step one is get pre-approved, right? Because we wanna know how much money we have to be able to purchase a home. Second step, then you go and look for the houses with your realtor, of course. So then you make an offer, and you strategize with your realtor to see what is the best option for you and your family based on your finances. And after that, you go with Sean, get a home inspection, and you also get an appraisal there. So this is like a lot of stuff happening at the same time, believe it or not. It's not as clean and easy as this. However, I just wanted to put it like this just for you to get it more clearly. After that, you get to Chrissy again. So Chrissy is basically, throughout the whole process from getting pre-approved and then, going through all the paperwork, underwriting, all that kind of stuff. So we want to make sure we follow the instructions from the experts. So we, go through the process very smoothly. And then at the end, then you go to the closing date, right? A very exciting day where you're going to receive the keys to your home. There's nothing like that. Nothing compares to that feeling. This is the reason why I do this, right? Home is very, very important to me. When I talk to people and I ask them, why do you want to buy a house? How would this change your life, right? Like I said, building wealth, security, all that kind of stuff. So when I go through this journey with people, it is very, very important to me to understand their needs, so I can just serve people to the best of my ability. And I know, the people that I work with think the same way. So after this, you can see I pretty much said it already, but this is my passion. This is why I chose this career. I've always been like in sales and stuff like that. So, but selling a home or selling a house, let me rephrase that. Selling a house is more so just helping people to build that home, right? To get to that point. So just guide people every step of the way, find the best homes that fits their needs, because people want mansions, right? It's like, I want this house for, 3-bed, 2-bath, a patio. And it's like, do you really need the 3-bed? I don't know. So something that fits your needs. Negotiate on your behalf. That's something that I really shine on, just negotiation. And I'll explain all the strategies available to you. And also put you in contact with the people that know about the topics that, that are involved in this transaction. The other thing, and this is the number 5, is very, very important, and it's just to help you to avoid costly mistakes by empowering you with the knowledge to make educated decisions. I am not going to tell you what to do. That's just how I am. I'm giving you the options, and then you make the decision based on your needs and your goals in general. And that takes me to my passion really is to serve you and your family like you're a part of my family, because that's my goal. Just for you to remember my name and say, you know what, Monica helped me buying this house or my first home 50 years ago, and I will always remember her. That's my goal. So right now, I'm just going to give it up to Chrissy Jones. She's with Meridian Bank. She's going to explain the process and what you need to purchase the home.
So in our booklet, just like Monica kind of talked about, it goes over deciding to buy on page 1 and getting pre-qualified. The pre-qualification is the most important part. So in order to see a home, you have to be pre-qualified. And it's for a few reasons. It's to make sure that, 1, you're qualified for the house and that you're not falling in love with something that you can't have. Because then you hold every home up to that standard. The second is to ensure that that monthly payment and everything that is going to be associated, you're comfortable with. So I always tell everyone that I work with, while you may be pre-qualified for $1 million, if you want a $2,000 monthly payment, here's where we need to be. Here's your purchase price. Here's what we should be looking at. While you could buy that $1 million home, do you want that monthly payment? Does that fit your family's needs? And it's a personal decision. You let me know kind of where your comfort range is. So once we kind of go through the pre-qualification process, then we'll go over the types of programs that you're using. If we need to fix on credit, things of that nature. So while we're talking about shopping for your home, it's important that your realtor and your lender are on the same page with the type of financing that we're using and any programs. Certain programs might take 30 to 40 days to close. So we can't go in and submit an offer for a rush close in 20 days if we're using a certain program. The programs are beneficial for a lot of people because they help you keep additional money in your pocket. So most people, when you move into a home, there's additional expenses. There's moving expenses. They're getting things set up. There's just expenses in general where you don't want to use your last dollar buying the house itself. Those types of programs are like our first front door. So this is the keys to equity. It's $20,000 that will help with down payment and closing costs. You have to contribute at least $1,000 into the transaction. Not bad at all. And then this one is fully forgiven the day you sign your paperwork. There's a lot of different programs. Some of them have a retention period. What that means is you have to stay in the home for this amount of time, or you repay a portion of the money. 5 years flies by. That's how long most retentions are. It's easy peasy. So then let's go back to kind of the pre-qualification process. So as we get pre-qualified, we're looking at different loan types. You have a base loan amount or a base loan type that you're purchasing your home with. Every time we layer something like a $20,000 grant, or Delaware State Housing Authority offers a lower interest rate for first-time home buyers. So Someone else's interest rate who's purchasing again may be at 7% where you're at 5.5 or 6. Helps you a lot on your monthly payment and the affordability of your home. The more things that we layer together, the stronger the applicant you need to be, which means maybe a mortgage payment in the bank after all closing costs and items are done. Once we're finished with underwriting, everything is paid for, you still have at least one mortgage payment in your bank to show that you're a qualified buyer. The stronger the credit. The score is important, however, so are the age of your credit. So you could be a 740 or a 760, but only have 3 months worth of credit. You know, there's different things that go along with it. And that's everything that we kind of go over through the pre-qualification process.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. How's everybody doing? Good. Not bad. Not bad. So I'm just going to talk about how home inspections go, kind of what to expect while we're there, what we do, and, you know, why you should get one. These past couple of years, there's been a trend of waiving home inspections because the market's been so competitive, but you never know what you're buying until you get an inspection. You can walk in, there's new appliances, new floors, you know, new washer and dryer, but until you get an inspection, somebody gets into the attic, gets on the roof, it's just good to know what's going on. So home inspections are visual, non-invasive inspections. Means we can't see through walls or floors. We don't rip anything apart. It's not a warranty or guarantee. We can only tell you the condition of the house that day. Just basically means like if the roof leaks in 2 or 3 months, we can't predict that, but we're going to do our best to get on that roof. We have drones to look at the roof as well. We get into the attic. If there's any staining, we check it with moisture meters. We check out the outside, windows, doors, outlets, hose bibs. Get into the house, check the HVAC, take a bunch of temperature readings, water heater, electrical panel. We're basically like think of us as like the general practitioner. We kind of send you in the direction if we see like electrical issues, plumbing leaks, stuff like that. In our reports, we do have majors and minors. I wish we called it something else because major sounds very scary, but it doesn't necessarily mean catastrophic or expensive. So a major could be anything from a roof leak to an outlet not working. You know, there's definitely levels to it. So our job is basically to go there, tell you everything about the house, and then you make a sound decision. It depends on your real estate contract, but you can negotiate on repairs depending on our findings. So that's why they're definitely important. Types of inspections, we do home inspections, termite inspections, radon test. Radon, not a lot of people know what radon is, but it's the second leading cause of lung cancer next to cigarettes. So we set up a monitor. It basically takes a reading every hour on the hour, and you get a report telling you if it's elevated or not. So some people think it's a myth, but it's definitely not. So it's something you might want to consider getting when you get a house. We do stucco inspections, pool inspections, irrigation inspections. Try to be a one-stop shop. So whatever that property has that you guys are putting an offer in, we could definitely help you with anything you want looked at. And costs, that's what everybody wants to know. So it depends on the square footage. So it's usually like $350 to $650, give or take. Obviously, like termite inspections, radon inspections, those are additional costs, but just for the home inspection themselves, they're typically $300, $600 or so. But yeah, it's basically just a snapshot of the house. We usually spend like 2 to 3 hours starting the outside roof and work our way down and give you a nice report. You get a summary version and a full copy. There's like life expectancies and all that good stuff in there for you too, to just so you know what to expect and can make a good judgment call if you want to proceed. And that's basically it.
Put it on here. Right on. Can y'all hear me? Thank y'all for coming today. I know it's a Saturday, but it is important to understand the ins and outs of the home buying process. And one of those aspects is going to be the insurance coverage. This is required whenever you're going to close on a home, not only to protect your future asset, but also to protect the lender. Obviously, most people are going to have down payment that they're going to be putting down, but then to cover the difference, the lender's obviously going to have skin in the game there. So it's to protect both of you guys collectively, and you really want to make sure if something is going to happen that you're not going to be responsible to cover that out of pocket. And that's going to move on to what does proper homeowners insurance coverage look like? So the primary purpose of insurance is for not only catastrophic accidents, but for the minor accidents or the things that you're not going to foresee that can happen, so you're not going to be responsible to cover that out of pocket as well. So when you look at your entire home, you want to make sure that the home itself is going to be covered, because homeowners insurance has multiple portions. It can cover your primary structure, it can cover any of the personal property associated with it, and there's also a liability portion if anybody does get injured on the property, as well as any medical payments as a result of any injuries. So it's not a one-trick pony, but you want to make sure when you look at and you're going to purchase your home, not only is the primary structure going to be covered, but then all of the personal property that you hope to put inside it is going to be covered. It can be covered under any cause of loss, whether it's fire, water, theft, burglary. There are typical causes and different coverages associated with the homeowner's form. Things like flooding is not going to be covered. That's flood insurance is an entirely separate thing. Things like water backup inside the home can be added on to the base coverage so that you're covered there. But things like if a tree falls on your roof, that's absolutely going to be covered. If there's a leak in your roof, that's going to be able to be fixed. But you want to make sure when you look at getting homeowners insurance for your home, it's going to holistically approach your needs. It's going to cover your home if something were to happen. It's going to cover your personal property if something were to break in. Or somebody was going to steal your stuff, and anything else like a fire. You want to make sure that all of your cabinetry, your personal property, because there's the homeowner's insurance form will cover things like furniture or any of your personal property, electronics, things like that. You want to make sure that that's also properly covered. And then we will move on to the couple other things that are not covered under the typical homeowners insurance form. Earthquakes, obviously not as big of a problem in Maryland. We discussed the floods. Floods are definitely something that is not going to be included under the base form. But when you look at getting homeowners insurance, you want to have a knowledgeable person, a knowledgeable broker, to look at your holistic picture to make sure that any of the different items are going to be covered. So like if you have buried utility lines, so water lines going to your house or electrical, or even things like cable, if that's going to be related to your situation, you might want to consider adding that onto your policy through what's called an endorsement, which is essentially just you're adding on this coverage that's not typically included, but it's going to help you cover your bases. So we talked about water backup as well. If you have a basement or a sump pump, you want to make sure you add this coverage on, because if you're getting a lot of rain, your sump pump backs up, your basement floods, that's not going to typically be covered under your typical homeowner's insurance form. So you want to make sure that's covered. But it's just important to have a knowledgeable agent to work with so that you're going to have a holistic approach when looking at the property that you're going to buy, and make sure that all the risks are going to be covered. Just to break down the quick difference between insurance and warranty. So the homeowner's insurance, obviously necessary to close, a lot more well-rounded coverage. It'll cover your home, your personal property, the liability, and any injuries that occur. So you can cover medical payments. It doesn't matter if it's somebody that you know or don't know. It could be someone as simple as a delivery driver going to deliver a package. They slip on ice on your steps. Well, who's going to pay for that? If they don't have the proper medical insurance, you might be on the hook either for the damages, either loss of wages if they're unable to work, or their medical expenses if they don't have proper coverage. So your homeowner's insurance is going to include protection for this. But a home warranty is much more focused on appliances and kind of major electrical systems, things of that nature. So it's not a holistic coverage approach, but it still will offer some coverage for some of the minor aspects of the home, but it's still very, very important. Obviously, there's a lot of money in appliances and electrical systems. So it's definitely a great value add. So we're going to go into the next portion, in which we have a short video showing you just a brief overview of this home warranty that Monica's offering to all of her clients in the coming year. And it should be a good little breakdown of everything that should be included.
This is Hannah. Hannah loves being a homeowner, but she knows homes can have unexpected costs that homeowners insurance won't cover. When something has a breakdown, falls to pieces, or goes on the fritz, Hannah worries about how she'll pay for repairs. America's Preferred Home Warranty has coverage that protects homeowners like Hannah. Our warranty covers the essential home systems that keep your family comfortable, as well as the appliances that keep your household running smoothly, and all the other stuff you'd rather not live without. APHW covers breakdowns that happen due to normal wear and tear, which can save you a bundle on out-of-pocket repair costs. Best of all, Hannah can choose her own licensed contractor, so she can get repairs done by someone she knows and trusts. So why face home repair costs alone? Protect your home and budget with an America's Preferred Home Warranty.
That was the home warranty video. And this is something that I'm doing just for my clients this year, just 2025. I decided to do this just because last year, like Sean was saying, a lot of people waived inspections. And you know, a month later or 2 months later, something happened to the roof. The washer didn't work, or the stove didn't work for some reason. And this is something that I have decided this year, and I'm buying a home warranty for both my buyers and my sellers. This is coming out of my pocket, and this is just my gift for my clients. So if you decide to buy, you would get a home warranty. I have partnered with America's Preferred Home Warranty to do this for you guys. So you already saw the benefits of having a home warranty, and that's basically what I'm doing it, is because I really care, and I can do it, and I want to do it. So that's what I'm going to do for you. So thank you so much for your time and your trust. We really appreciate you coming here. And this is basically our promise, and is do the best we can to serve you and your family, any referrals that you send to our way as well. And our goal is obviously to earn a 5-star review and also your referrals. We do this for a living, and we know how things work nowadays. So it's just like, this is very important. It tells a lot about us as inspectors, insurance, loan officers, realtors. So it's really our passion, and we are very, very excited to work with you and your families. And so the next step will be just to set up a free consultation with us, and we'll go into like every detail with you based on your needs and your wants, so we can best serve you guys. So thanks again, and if you have any questions, then now's the time to ask them. We're here for you.